Welcome to Madrid Reviews. This is your host, Christian Madrid, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about Black Phone 2. Let's get to the review now, yo. Alright, y'all, let's get into this. So, I just saw Black Phone 2, and it's mid. It's not terrible, but it's also not that good. It's not as good as the first Black Phone, for sure, because that one is much better. Scott Derrickson's direction is alright, as it's very ambiguous and takes a different approach with the sequel, which I can appreciate to a certain extent, but I think another approach would have been better in my personal opinion. The writing is one of the weaker aspects of this film, as the story, it's okay, but I'm not the biggest fan of the approach it does go into. It's for sure different from the first film, but the dream versus reality concept, I didn't really find necessary for this film, and I think it could have worked better just being set in reality instead of all this dream shit, as it comes off as Dollar Store Nightmare on Elm Street, in my opinion. It's not a terrible idea for a sequel, but the way it's handled, I just wasn't a big fan of. It wasn't all bad. The film starts off a bit slow with its slow burn editing, but it does pick up pace, and the last act, it was cool, where all the horror and action starts, but, it's predictable, The grabber also isn't in the film as long as I wished, as he doesn't show up till like midway through the film. I wish we got more of him since he is the main antagonist and villain in this film. The acting is very strong, as Mason Thames, Madeleine McGraw, and Ethan Hawke, they all give strong performances, especially from Mason Thames and Madeleine McGraw. They step up and give really good performances. They took me by surprise, so that's one of the better aspects of this film, the acting for sure. The cinematography, has some well-shot scenes and creative choices, but I think the dream sequences, while I did find it really cool that it was shot on 8mm and it felt like a home video, I did feel it to be a bit too grainy at times, but cool. The film takes advantage of its great production design with a whole new scenery, it takes place in the mountains, with all the snow and stuff, at camp, It's pretty cool. The soundtrack and score, it failed to leave an impact on the film, as I wish there was more of a score throughout, but the sound design does add suspense and creepiness to the film, so we'll give it credit to the sound effects of this film. The visual effects look great, as, it makes the film pretty gory, with great, CGI blood. Overall, Black Phone 2, it's an average horror film that isn't as good as the first film, but it's not terrible. I still recommend checking it out, seeing it for yourselves. This film has been getting mixed reviews, so, some people have been really enjoying this different approach that this movie takes. Some people hate it. I would describe myself in the middle of that. I think it's okay. It's mid. I give it a C-. We're eating all right watching this movie. It's Chipotle, Carl's Jr. type shit. Alright, y'all, so that is the end of the video. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment on whether you have seen Black Phone 2, or are you excited to see it? And if you've seen it, let me know your thoughts. Which one do you like if you've seen them, Black Phone 1 or 2? I think Black Phone 1 is much better in my opinion. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button alert to know when I drop a new review. Appreciate you all for watching. See you on the next one. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, whatever time you watch this. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch me talk about movies. Thank you. Bye-bye.